just prejudiced against popular culture.
Do you find that in other areas?
Maybe. So you don't want to go that way. That doesn't lead anywhere.
I don't want to get poisoned. It leads to safety.
No, from the mosquitoes. Yeah, like I tend to shy away from like popular music.
And you don't like any of it?
I'll occasionally hear a song that I like a little bit.
Do you like Taylor Swift?
Nope. You do?
She's got some great stuff. It's written by Max Martin, who did the Backstreet Boys stuff.
Oh. Also not really a fan of them. I guess that's not entirely true. There were one or two songs that I
Oh yeah,
that I did.
It comes out,
like.
does it?
Well, it's like the one where they sing Backstreet's Back. I think I really like that one. Backstreet's Back, alright.
So you prefer the Backstreet Boys to NSYNC?
Sure.
But Justin Timberlake is a successful singer-songwriter these days.
Very true. I've never heard a single one of his songs.
What about the stuff he did with Lonely Island?
Like My Junk in a Box.
Yeah.
I guess I've heard that one.
I'm on a Boat.
Was JT in that one? I know
Might have been. T-Pain.
T-Pain was part of that. I don't recall him inviting Justin to be on the boat with him. So this is kind of an optional exploration area that I don't recommend right now.
Okay.
Because that tree branch is kind of precipitous.
Just like the first King's Quest.
Oh yeah. Like when he's climbing the mountain.
I meant when he's climbing the tree. You have to walk out on a branch.
Which King's Quest?
The first one.
Oh, I don't remember that one.
Do I take the ladder or the water wheel?
Ladder. Oh, I guess it's not a water wheel. If you look to the right, there's a dog. So it's more like a hamster wheel.
I don't see the dog. Oh. Oh. Interesting. Not one in that one.
Well, they're connected by an axle.
Oh, yeah. He's powering both.
Yeah, there you go. So, yeah, you want to drop down on the platform now. The moving.
The water wheel?
Yeah. The dog wheel. Treadmill. That's what it is.
And when do I get off?
When it goes ding. When that platform comes up. So there's a ladder behind you. There were also a few Britney Spears songs that I liked. Oops, I Did It Again.
Of course.
What was the first one? Hit Me Baby One More Time.
Yeah. They're kind of the same song.
Yeah, pretty much. Probably why I like both of them.
Also, she was really attractive at the time.
Oh, really? I didn't notice. It's not like the music video had her in a schoolgirl dress, and the other one she was in that red latex. Go the other way. No, didn't notice that at all.
What do you think about the song, Oh, Am I Wandering Through the Swamp?
Oh yeah, did you put it in the ring?
No.
I want to do that.
I want to do that. Okay, what do you think about the song by that? Ooh, I'm getting poisoned.
Yeah.
You can warn me about that.
Yeah, you just deal with it. It doesn't go as fast without the toxic.
All About That Bass.
Oh, I do like that song.
It's good stuff.
So in this little alcove to your left is a bonfire.
Sweet. This it?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it glowing?
I don't know. It's just the weird lighting in here.
high glow too. Maybe there's a black light.
Maybe. Praise the sun. There's no sun down here.
Anything up here?
There's a treasure chest.
That's good. This looks like a battle arena of some kind.
I think it's just more of a drain. Like you can look up and see. It kind of looks like a pipe. Or
Yeah.
well, you can actually go up there. There's pathways that lead up into that area. So there's, I mean, you've skipped an awful lot of stuff, and so you could, backtrack, and pick up items, and go exploring. There's a lot of items kind of scattered around the edge of the swamp, or you could just go straight to the boss, and the boss is off to the right.
Say there's things scattered.
What's that?
You say there's various things.
Yeah. So, like, if you were to travel across to the other edge of the swamp, I think there's some items over there.
Is there a short path where I won't get poisoned?
No, you'll get poisoned.
I don't like these guys.
Pretty much inevitable. Yeah, and they respawn, so if you just want to run past them, that's fine too.
Yeah.
I used to like popular music. I'd just sit in my room and listen to Radio Disney.
Very popular.
I had all the teen hits.
Backstreet Boys.
Britney Spears.
Oh, Mickey, you're so fine.
Savage Garden.
They had a good one, didn't they?
They had the, it's a really odd song that I don't much care for anymore. Kind of has the lyrics are really fast. Do 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 like a chica cherry cola.
I thought they had another one. It's kind of slowed down. I guess I can't describe it, but they have there's a little riff on the guitar at the beginning. It's very memorable.
I don't recall any others besides that one song. Ooh, I want you, I know if I need you back.
It's kind of like a leech, except huge.
Yep, I believe they are called leeches.
Are we tiny in this world?
No. I think the turning point in my music listening was on when I got an iPod, and I just loaded up all my music on there and stopped listening to the radio. And then also around that time, I started discovering the type of bands that you don't hear on the radio. The most prominent one that I came across was the Flaming Lips. I remember, I think it was Austin City Limits is when I first saw them. It's a program where they have bands come and play.
Yeah, isn't it also a festival?
It might be. I don't know. I just remember that they had like a weekly show on PBS, Austin City Limits, and they had, larger name bands, and then they also had people like the Flaming Lips, and I just remember being very impressed with the type of show they put on. It was very unorthodox and wild, and their music was kind of off the wall. I remember I looked them up and kind of did a little research and found out about one of their albums called Zyrika.
Yeah.
You know about that one?
Yeah, I found it in your room at one point.
Yeah, so it's a four-disc album that's meant to be played, all 4 discs simultaneously. And I guess it was based off of an earlier thing they did called the Parking Lot Experiments, where they recorded, I think, 40 different tapes, all with varying parts of songs on them. and had people, gather together in like a parking lot with their cars and play all these tapes at the same time. And so they condensed the idea down into this 4-disc album. It's really kind of interesting because, you're not necessarily going to have them all perfectly in sync, and so it's technically going to be a slightly different listening experience every time. So that really piqued my interest, and I started buying their albums and getting really into them.
Ooh, green.
How did you first come across the Mountain Goats?
Let's see. Oh, I was really into the Decemberists, and someone on their forums had a quote from Going to Alaska, which is one of their early songs. Not even a very good song, really. But I heard it, and then I think maybe later I just looked them up again, and their popular song No Children came up. And that's pretty good.
How did you first come across the Decemberists?
They put out a music video for 16 Military Wives on torrents, and it was like advertised on the main BitTorrent website because they were one of the first people to do it.
Huh. Interesting.
Where am I headed?
Well, you can keep exploring. There's if you go up, there's a ramp right there, and there's an item on the other side of the ramp. There's some items at the top of the ramp. Some other bands I'm into. I've always maintained my love of the Beatles.
Yeah.
I have most of their albums. One I've come across recently is Rat-a-Tat. Have you ever listened to them?
No.
They're kind of they are an instrumental, kind of half electronic, half rock. And I think I just came across them watching one of the Twitch streamers. Some of their songs would come on, and it would say what song is playing, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty interesting. I'll look more into them.
Aha!
Did you know that was there?
Yeah, some message said there was an illusory wall.
What does that other message say?
Another one? Very interesting.
So this just leads to the Great Hollow.
The Great Hollow.
Hollow. So this is a big optional area. I rarely go down here.
Oh.
Although there is a ring that you can get fairly early on. And that might be of use to you.
Yes, I need rings.
Gotta get that bling bling.
Hello.
I really like the Shins. I got into them after watching Garden State. Did you ever watch that movie?
No.
It's pretty good.
And it's got JD in it.
And Natalie Portman.
Can I get over there? It's too late.
Well, let's see. So stop and take a look downward. So, well, continue down the path. You're going to have to drop kind of in the center at some point.
Some point soon? Like right now?
No. Wait, look up. Maybe you already passed it. Kind of look in that direction. Okay, so you need to drop down into there. So try and get higher up above there.
Oh, into the
tree there.
The Great Hollow.
Well, it's a lesser hollow inside the Great Hollow.
Oh. Oh, we're in a hollow.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's the item you're going for.
Nailed it. Chloranthy ring.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
So that ups your stamina regen.
Engraved with large green flowers of unknown origin. Okay. Ooh, 3 arrows.
Mm-hmm.
That seems like a lot.
So I would recommend going back up.
Is this a thing?
Well, it's a
It's a man?
yeah, it's a
Ah!
what do you call it? A petrified man. So in this area there are basilisks, and they can curse you.
By looking into your face and turning you to tree?
No, they'll blow gas at you.
Tree gas.
I used to be into Coldplay, but I seem to have lost interest in them recently.
They were kind of pop.
Yeah, I mean, you'll hear them on the radio. And that's probably where I discovered them. Same thing for Death Cab. They've had a few hits, and I've enjoyed their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Ingrid Michaelson, I like her.
What did she do?
So she became well known because one of her songs was used in a car commercial, I believe, and it was the song "Just the Way You Are."
Hmm.
So it's a very minimalistic song. Like, there's a little like bass line, and she sings like, "I buy you Rogaine when you start losing all your hair."
That doesn't sound familiar.
I bet you'd recognize it if you heard the actual song.
Okay.
The chorus is like, and I... Oh, no, I can't remember it.
That kind of sounded familiar.
It starts off with an I.
Love the way you are.
Yeah, something like that. Or, you take me the way I am. That's part of it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how I discovered her. It was because of that car commercial.
Cool. You ever heard the song Tom Steiner?
Doesn't ring a bell. Is it by?
I am standing on the corner, at the counter, at the diner, on the corner. Never heard that? Yeah.
Okay. Some female singer.
Yeah. That was a very popular song.
Yeah, I vaguely remember it. I couldn't tell you who sang it.
Oh, this looks like a bad place.
Yeah, so this is where, if you come the normal way, that you come down here. And, yeah. So if you head off more to the right, you've kind of been in this area already. So I don't know if you've been over this way yet.
Probably not.
I'm kind of off and on for the Killers. I like some of their songs, I guess. I have this one album, which I think is the only album they ever did. So I was in this guild in World of Warcraft, and two of the guys were in a nearby town, it turned out. I don't think I ever met them personally. And I think the guild had we had our own forums just for inter-guild communication. And I think at one point these guys posted a link to this album of songs that they had done together. And they called themselves Mr. Fusion and the Flux Capacitor.
That almost sounds familiar.
Well, if you've taken music off my computer, it's possible you've come across it. But it's very electronica type of stuff. And I'll listen through the album every now and then. I kind of enjoy it. Wish they had done more stuff. Oh, I really like Of Monsters and Men.
That was a book, right?
No, Of Mice and Men. That was a book.
Maybe there was a parody, like... Oh, what's that one? With vampires.
Like Pride and Prejudice and Zombies?
Yeah.
Of Mice and Monsters and Men. There's also...
Oh, my goodness.
Isn't there like Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter?
Yeah, I think that was even a movie.
Yeah.
So this is the guy that you stabbed.
Mm-hmm. There's a second guy.
Yeah, well, this guy's not dead yet.
I'm saying he might be coming up behind you. Sounds like he's throwing rocks at you.
Gonna backstab me.
Did you ever listen to Rick Moranis' album?
No.
So, you know who he is, right? He's an actor.
Yeah, he was Dark Helmet.
Yeah. And he did this album. So he's basically been retired from show business for at least a decade because his wife died, and so he just decided to dedicate himself to his kids, which is awesome. And then at some point during this retirement, he made this little album called The Agoraphobic Cowboy. And it's kind of simple, silly cowboy songs. There's a few good ones in there that I like. Youth Lagoon is another one I've recently come across. Never listened to any of his stuff.
No.
I can't remember how I even discovered him. It was probably just... I want to say it was a music video on YouTube that I watched of his. I really liked the song. It's, his music is very... I would call it ambient. Like, he has lyrics, but they're really hard to distinguish. Even more so than normal songs. So you might consider just running away from those guys up into this
Alcove.
cave.
Is this a spider's nest?
Yep.
Oh. Quelag's domain.
So these guys here, they're not hostile.
Oh, good.
Resignation.
That's gross.
Mm-hmm.
They're like the Flood from Halo.
Yeah, they are kind of rip off.
Is this a boss?
Yep.
Okay.
This is Quelaag.
Is it a chick, perhaps?
Yep.
Interesting.
I wrote this note down. Wreck-It Wralf with a W for Ralph.
Uh-huh.
That makes me laugh.
Oh.
Well, the reason I wrote it down, actually I can't remember why I wrote it down. Have you seen Wreck-It Ralph?
Yes.
I
It's
think
got Sarah Silverman in it.
True. Also, what's the main guy's name? John Rutter? The guy who voices Ralph? Can't remember his name.
Don't know his name.
There's also Jack McBrayer, who voices Fix-It Felix Jr. I like Rankin.
Is that the guy from 30 Rock?
Yep. Kenneth Ellen Parcell.
This is very hard to dodge.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
So I think maybe I wanted to comment on the stupid romantic relationship in Wreck-It Ralph between Fix-It Felix and the first-person shooter lady.
Uh-huh.
Because it's really, like, I don't buy it at all. There's, like, no development at all. Because it's like, they meet, he comments on how beautiful she is, she's like, you're very rude, and then they, like, go together to find Ralph, and they get stuck in the quicksand, and he comes up with an idea to save them, and then all of a sudden she's infatuated with him, and that's like the entire arc of their romance. Which is just very dumb to me.
Well, they probably don't meet a lot of people.
And that's in contrast to something like Frozen, where you have the relationship between whatever the sister's name is and the ice farmer dude.
Okay. So you're talking the legit relationship?
Yeah. And they actually, make the distinction in the movie between shallow relationships and more developed relationships, which is nice.
Mm-hmm. So that was Pixar trashing on DreamWorks, you're saying? For having shallow relationships in their movies. We've got the real ones.
I don't know, is Wreck-It Ralph by Pixar or DreamWorks?
Actually, it might be Pixar.
Yeah, I bet they're both by the same people. So you could stop off at the other bonfire on your way.
Yes, I know where that is.
It's kind of off to the right, past this big pillar. Have you ever played any of the Shadowrun games?
Maybe.
They're sort of like the first two Fallout games.
Then no.
Have you ever played the first two Fallout games?
I've seen someone play a bit of one.
I really liked the first one. I actually played was Fallout 2, which, I mean, they're basically like the same game, Fallout 1 and 2, just slightly different stories. But I like the style, I like the gameplay. They have it where you have a specific amount of actions you can take on your turn, and it's kind of your choice whether you move or you shoot, or you move and shoot, or you use a healing item or what have you. It's kind of a cool gameplay element in my mind. And so Shadowrun's kind of set up the same way, but and I guess there was an earlier Shadowrun, and then they remade it recently, or they made a sequel recently, and then made a few more sequels. And I never played the original Shadowrun, but I played the first of the newer ones, and I couldn't really get into it because the gameplay was a lot more simplistic than I was expecting, because you basically have 2 actions per turn, and no matter what. And so you can shoot twice, or you can move and shoot, or shoot and move. And oh, that hurt.
Yes.
Whoa,
Did quite a bit. This lady's relentless.
Mm-hmm. And so, and also the world. I couldn't really get into the world they had built, because it's sort of like a cyberpunk type of world, which I dig. But then there's also fantasy elements to it, in that, you have orcs and elves and magic. And I don't know, I think that kind of threw me off a little bit. There's another one which I think is in the same vein. They've made a new game, Wasteland 2, I think. Have you looked into that one at all?
Nope.
I keep meaning to look into that and maybe play it. Seems like I might like it.
Kellogg's Domain.